Andrew was driving his Model 3 in Los Angeles, California when traffic backed up on US Route 101. He stopped, the car behind him almost stopped, but the car behind them hit them both at highway speed. Miraculously, everyone involved in this accident walked away. Andrew had no idea how serious the crash was until the next day when he saw this video. His jaw absolutely hit the floor when he reviewed it. Andrew told us that Autopilot detected the collision and automatically steered around the vehicle in front of him. The Tesla missed the car by inches and probably saved them from injury, and definitely saved them from insurance nightmares. The driver that had caused the accident paid for everything, including the medical bills of everyone involved. Andrew's Tesla was in the shop for 4.5 months, but it's now back on the road. The other 2 cars were totaled. Keith was driving his Model Y in Los Angeles, California when traffic in the lanes to the left had all stopped. He moved over to the right lane to get a clear path. As he approached a traffic light, the light turned green and he started to cross the intersection. Unfortunately, the stopped vehicles in the left lane blocked his view of a red light runner. A Honda slammed into the driver's side door of the Tesla, spinning it around. The bumper ripped out a signpost and shattered it into pieces. Hilariously, the bumper cover of the Honda that had caused all this mayhem rested calmly next to the wrecked Tesla, but the driver wasn't as calm. The driver of the Honda got out and walked over to Keith, but then he rushed back to his banged-up Honda and sped off, making this a hit and run. Even though the Honda driver left his bumper cover at the scene of the crime, there was no license plate on it. The car didn't have license plates at all for that matter. Keith called the police, but they informed him they wouldn't be responding to the scene because he was uninjured and it was only a hit and run. Keith called a tow truck and filed an insurance claim. His car is still in the repair shop. Michael's Model 3 was parked outside his workplace. He was just about to leave for lunch when one car T-boned another at an intersection. One of the wrecked cars was rolling toward his Tesla, but the driver managed to step on the brakes before hitting it. Michael made sure everyone was okay, then called the police, who quickly arrived at the scene. They were very happy to view the crash footage inside Michael's Tesla. Leonard was driving to work in Los Angeles when a Toyota Tacoma passed him with sparks flying everywhere. The truck lost a wheel, which bounced toward the right side. The truck swerved into Leonard's lane, but the driver regained control and managed to return to his own lane. The wheel hit the right guardrail before rolling into traffic. Unfortunately, Leonard couldn't stop because he had to make it to work on time. Randy was driving to work one morning and told us it's usually pretty dark on the back roads of his commute. Check out what suddenly happened on what had been a pretty normal cold morning drive. A woman dressed in black was standing in the middle of the road. Randy says she came out of nowhere and he came within inches of running her over. Randy turned around to see if she was okay. It turned out she was about 70 or 80 years old and he suspects she had dementia. He called the police and they were able to come pick her up. Randy says, "Thank God for the quick maneuverability of a Tesla. It saved that woman's life and kept him on the road." Kirill was driving his Model Y in Sacramento, California when the BMW in front of him rear-ended a truck and stopped traffic. Both drivers were okay, and it's nice to know that this BMW actually has functioning turn signals, even though they didn't help this time. Ben was driving his Model Y in Frisco, Texas, when he witnessed a motorcycle crash into another Tesla. The guy on the motorcycle got up and walked away from the crash. Ben called 911 and directed traffic until the police and fire trucks came. He shared his footage with the driver of the Model 3. We're not sure if that Tesla owner had his Teslacam set up or not, and Ben doesn't know either. Luckily, Ben was there to capture the accident and help him out. Nick was creeping up to a traffic light when he spotted a perfect jump ramp. Who hasn't thought about pulling off a Dukes of Hazzard move when they see a perfectly positioned ramp like this? Sadly, Nick pulled left and saved his Evel Knievel stunt for another day, but then he got a glimmer of hope from what he saw behind him. A young man was approaching on his electric bike, and Nick thought to himself, could this possibly happen? All of a sudden, he went for it. For Nick, it seemed like it happened in slow motion. Nick screamed in excitement when he landed the jump and rode past him. After rolling down his window, Nick shouted, "Heck yeah, dude!" But the guy didn't hear him. He rode off into the California sunset, never to be seen again. Nick asked us to give a shout out to his 6-year-old Sienna, who loves watching the Teslacam videos. Hey there, Sienna. Tell your dad to take the jump next time. It would look awesome in our thumbnail. Josh had parked his Model 3 outside of a local store on a very windy day in Riverside, California. The entire Southern California region was under a high wind warning. We know what that means. The cart demon was out hunting for victims. Right as Josh was leaving the store, he got a notification that Sentry mode had been triggered, and soon he heard his alarm going off in the parking lot. Josh saw the shopping cart next to his car where it had stopped after the impact. When he reviewed the footage, he saw what had happened. The wind was so strong that it blew the shopping cart from the other side of the parking lot to ricochet off a Nissan Sentra before slamming into the rear of Josh's Tesla. It left spider's web-like fractures on the bumper cover. He got a repair estimate from Tesla, and they told him it would cost at least $1,600 to repair since they'd need to take the bumper cover off. Josh isn't sure if he'll get it fixed since Southern California drivers are crazy, and he isn't sure when he might have another Wham Bam submission to share. Fernando was driving his Model 3 in Las Vegas, Nevada. He was cutting across the street to enter a parking lot where a brand new Corvette was exiting. Check out what happened. An argument ensued over who was at fault. They called the police, and officers quickly arrived at the scene to help them sort it out. Fernando made the case that the driver of the Corvette had done two things wrong. First, he hadn't yielded the right-of-way when making a left turn. Second, if the driver hadn't cut across traffic at a diagonal angle and instead went to the center lane like he was supposed to, they wouldn't have collided. The Corvette driver argued that he'd entered traffic first, making the accident Fernando's fault. In the end, the police sided with Fernando, stating that the Corvette driver should have waited because Fernando was already on the street. The Corvette driver had also ignored a stop sign. Fernando's repair estimate came to $9,500. Paul had parked his Model 3 at a DIY store while shopping with his girlfriend. When they got back to the car, Paul noticed a new dent on the rear passenger door. It was a pretty big dent, and Paul's heart sunk when he saw it. After getting in the car, he pulled up the Sentry mode footage to see what had happened. In the video, we see that the driver of a Toyota pushed his door into the Tesla twice, once when he arrived and again when he left. Paul contacted the police, but he's still waiting for a response. Judging by the appearance of the Toyota, we're guessing Paul isn't this guy's first victim. Joel's wife was driving their Model S P100D December Unicorn in Powell, Wyoming. She was driving slowly due to icy streets, but a Toyota Tacoma pulled out in front of her instead of yielding the right-of-way. She swerved to avoid the Tacoma, but hit the curb with both wheels. The vehicle had to be transported via flatbed for 500 miles to Salt Lake City, Utah, where it's being repaired for a collapsed suspension corner. So far, the repair estimate is around $14,000, but a full analysis hasn't been completed. The estimated repair time is 2 to 3 months due to parts being backordered. Vlad was driving his BMW. Wait, what? This isn't Wham Bam Dashcam. Don't worry everybody, the video is still about a Tesla. Anyway, Vlad was driving behind a Model X, and he thinks this was a new Tesla driver since the car had a temporary license plate. Vlad lives on a hill with a narrow street where everyone dreads driving on trash day because it's a nightmare to meet the garbage truck on that street. He actually sent us this video of a car getting smashed by a dump truck on the day he moved here. When this video was captured, it just so happened to be trash day. When they came across the garbage truck, the Tesla driver tried to squeeze past the truck rather than backing up and giving it some room. Vlad did back up, and it was nerve-wracking for him to watch as the truck managed to squeeze past the Tesla. After Vlad had let the truck past him, he caught up to the Tesla owner who appeared to be inspecting his car for damage. The driver waved his arms at Vlad as if to say, "What the heck, that wasn't my fault." But Vlad says he's not convinced. What do you think? Let us know in a comment. We asked Vlad how he likes his BMW's turn signals, but he was confused and asked, "What turn signals?" Just kidding, he didn't say that. Chris was driving his Model S Plaid with his wife in Louisville, Kentucky. He spotted another Model S which looked new, but he wasn't sure if it was a Plaid or not. He slowed down and waited for the other Model S to catch up. It turned out it was indeed another Model S Plaid. Both parties were equally excited to spot another Plaid on the highway. Chris used Plaid mode to quickly pass the other car, then slowed down to let them use Plaid mode to pass him. After a few seconds, Chris saw them passing at Plaid speed. He says it was so fun to meet another Plaid owner and greet each other in this special Plaid way. Chris and his wife had a good laugh in the car, and the experience made their day. Danny was doing a photo shoot with a Model Y in Bangkok, Thailand. He drove it onto the beach to get some nice pictures, but he forgot that it was the standard range model. The standard range model doesn't have all-wheel drive, so he managed to get it stuck in the sand and had to pay some guys in a pickup truck to pull it out. We've got to say, the pictures of the car being towed turned out great. Colleen was driving to work when there was suddenly an SUV sliding across multiple lanes before crashing into an embankment. It was 20 degrees Fahrenheit out, so this must have been some combination of slick roads, bald tires, and maybe some speeding. Colleen called 911 to report the accident, but she isn't sure if there were any injuries. Rob's wife was driving her Model Y home from work in Prince Frederick, Maryland, when she noticed a suspicious-looking vehicle behind her. As it got closer, she almost couldn't believe her eyes. Well, folks, the park must be open. A pickup truck was taking a couple of velociraptors for a joyride. Now, I know you're thinking, haha, very funny, they're made of plastic. But there are some Tesla owners who've taken extreme measures to prepare for this exact situation. Let's take Mark, for example. He was meeting up with his wife Shanna at the grocery store. Without any further introduction, here comes Mark. Mark says he usually drives their Tesla, so he's never captured his other vehicle on Teslacam. But that day, he finally was able to record his Jurassic Park Jeep that he built during quarantine. He pulled up beside Shanna and they chatted about her day at work. Then she got back in the Tesla and took off. Mark couldn't keep up with the Tesla's speed in his fossil-fueled dinosaur vehicle. Mark sent us this cool picture he took during the build, and it looks so cool. Thanks for sharing, Mark. Shout out to their daughter Annie, who watches Wham Bam Teslacam every Sunday twice. Once by herself when the new videos drop, and again in the afternoon with her parents as a family. Thisaro was driving home in his Model 3 after grabbing some dinner when the driver of a Ford Ranger in front of him decided to roll coal. After taking delivery of the Tesla a few months back, he knew this was bound to happen at some point, and it finally did. In New Zealand, it's an offense for a vehicle to emit smoke or vapor for more than 10 seconds, and infractions carry an instant fine of 150 New Zealand dollars, or about $100 US. He reported the incident to the police. You might be asking, what's this? Another dashcam video? Easy now, this video is from Joni, who is driving a Model S, but we wanted you to hear the audio her dashcam captured. Joni and her 8-year-old son were driving in their 2015 Model S back from Parker, Colorado. They'd been watching The Wizard of Oz play. They were going about 72 miles per hour in a 75 mile per hour zone when some racing SUVs sped by them. Joni's heart was racing, and the sound of those speeders was loud. Her son commented they should be pulled over by the police, and Joni told him that never ends well. They both agreed this was a very Wham Bam moment. I'm just going to keep nagging you to check out the Wham Bam Dashcam channel, so here's another shameless plug. Do you like cars? Then you're gonna love. Oh man, I can't do this. Who even writes these scripts? Just check out this story. Matthew was driving his Chevy Cobalt in Sugar Run, Pennsylvania when the car's tires started to slip and he didn't know what he was supposed to do. He hit the brakes, which caused the car to spin even more. He then overcorrected, which sent the car crashing into the side of the road. We've received over 5,000 video submissions on the Teslacam channel and over 500 on this Dashcam channel, and this is actually the first time a submitter has confessed to causing an accident. Matthew tells us he's still a relatively new driver. The day of the accident was his first time driving in icy conditions. Now he knows he shouldn't brake so hard or overcorrect when the roads are so slippery. He's just fixed up the bumper and replaced the radiator, and the car is back on the road.
Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Cybertruck? My friends all drive diesel, I must make amends.
Nailed it! Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you're satisfied. See you all next week.